Hi, good morning. Good to see you're all here so bright and early. I think you'll enjoy today's lecture because it's on a topic most of you know about and are a part of. It's new trends in children's media use. And why is it an important topic to discuss, you may be asking yourself? Well, let's start by thinking about your day so far. What media have you used? How many different types of media have you used since waking up and coming to this class? Did you check your email? Did you turn on the television as you were getting dressed or eating breakfast? As you were traveling here, did you have some kind of music playing in your car? Or did you use your iPod on the bus? Did you read a newspaper? How many different types of media have you used already today? Okay, so now let's think. How is your experience different from, say, 50 years ago? What are some of the key changes? Well, in the middle of the 20th century, people in the US had only TV, radio, records, movies, and print media. Today, early in the 21st century, we have many more options. Let's see, there's both the larger variety of technology available. That is, the number of different devices and types we use is greater. We have VCRs, DVRs, CDs, DVDs, computers, and we also have online activities now. Email, gaming, music streaming, just to name a few. And it is also constantly changing, and the rate of the change is getting faster. Okay, and technology is getting cheaper too. It's less expensive now, so more people can own it. It's also getting more portable. Okay, so you can carry it around and have access to it, use it in more places. And lastly, with the internet and cable satellite technology, people now have more sources. Okay? More places you can get entertainment and information from. Overall, media use is just getting more convenient. Just look at that list. It's amazing, isn't it? How our lives are becoming increasingly full of media. That means that today's children are growing up in an increasingly media-rich environment. So today we're going to look at some new trends in media use and talk about some of the more surprising results of this. Let's start by looking at the overall amount of media exposure and use today. Now, a 2004 study by the Kaiser Family Foundation found that on average, a child, kids between the ages of 8 and 18, spend nearly 6.5 hours a day outside of school doing media-related activities. Using media. Think about that. That's more than most adults spend in a full-time job. But what's more interesting is that children have exposure to 8.5 hours of media per day. Okay, I can see the wheels turning. You're thinking, wait, how can they have 8.5 hours of exposure if they only spend 6.5 hours a day with media? Well, what we can conclude from these numbers is that children are using several types of media concurrently. They're using different types of media at the same time. This is one of the new trends in media use, multitasking. So, for example, while they're listening to music, they may also be playing a video game or reading, or they may be surfing the internet and watching television at the same time. So we can infer that today's youth are becoming more skilled at paying attention to more than one thing at a time, okay? At doing more than one task at a time. Or is the opposite true? Maybe all this media is just making it harder for them to focus on one thing. They get bored more easily if there isn't a lot of stimulation from different sources. The truth is, we're not sure. We're not sure exactly what the positive and negative impacts will be at this point. What's interesting is that even though children are using many more types of media, they're spending about the same amount of time with media as children did 5 years ago. This means that children can't really fit any more media time into their average day. They've hit a media time ceiling. But they can use media more intensively by increasing their multitasking. Now, as it turns out, that's exactly what they're doing. For example, one recent study suggests that 26% of media time is spent using 2 or more types of media concurrently, on multitasking. Another interesting trend is the number of children who have access to media in their bedrooms. Okay, so let me back this up with some findings. The number of children in the US who have a VCR or DVD player in their room in 1999 was only 36%. In 2004, 54%. Okay? Now that was a dramatic increase, and as you can imagine, children who have TVs in their bedrooms spend more time watching TV. They watch about 3.5 hours a day. But children who don't have TVs in their bedrooms watch about 2 hours a day. That's a big difference. Okay? That's 1.5 hours more in a typical day. 10.5 hours more per week. Now that's significant. And TVs are not alone. Other media is also used more when it is located in the child's bedroom. So, what can we conclude about the increased intensity of media use by children? Well, not everyone agrees. Some research suggests lower test scores and shorter attention spans, which makes some people think that increased media use only has a harmful effect on kids. And some people worry that today's kids are too dependent on visual media, that they don't have the patience to read long texts, which could hurt them in school and colleges. But other people don't have such negative opinions. They believe that so much exposure to all kinds of media is just preparing them for real life. You know, life today is filled with media and images. They'll eventually have to live and work in that world, so their media use is just preparing them for that. These children are really good at shifting their attention from one thing to another, at focusing their attention on what interests them. Some experts say this skill of monitoring and coordinating more than one task at a time, but ignoring what isn't important, may actually be useful, a benefit. After all, managers and CEOs often supervise many people, many different projects at a time. So this could be a useful ability. Combine their multitasking skills with confidence with different media tools, and these kids may actually have essential skills for the workplace of tomorrow. So let's wrap up now, and I want to leave you with a thought. We need to continue to study the changes in children's media use, but we shouldn't immediately infer that the changes are negative, that they're bad for kids. We have to consider how new technology and exposure to it and different ways of using media may actually help our kids in the long run. Okay, that's it for today. Bye.